Today's video will discuss Chapter 7.6, percent of change. So what we're going to focus on is this formula. And there are a bunch of different formulas, but this is the way that I've found it best to teach it. And that's new minus original over original. So I'm going to turn it into a fraction. This is the new price, or often the new price, new temperature, new whatever value we're talking about. The original value, sometimes called the old value. And then it's divided by the original. So first we do the subtraction problem in the numerator, and then we're going to divide as a fraction. We're going to keep that and come back to it in just a moment. So a lot of times the difficult part in a problem is identifying what is new and what is original. So you're finding the percent of change from 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So we started here, so this would be my original, and this now is the new temperature. So it's new minus original over original. And so this ends up becoming 24 over 60. And so if you then take your calculator and divide 24 divided by 60, you end up with 0.4. Now, that's not my percent of change. That's the decimal representing the percent of change. I now need to change this into a percent. So there's a couple ways. One is using jumping the decimal, and others multiplying by 100. However it is that you figure that out, the percent of change is 40%. All right, I'm going to put this one off to the side because I want to show you the difference between this problem and the one that we're going to do next, and that is this problem about stamps. So Mitch has 318 stamps, or had 318 stamps. Now he has 273 stamps. Find the percent of change. So the new number is 273. He had the original number of 318, and I'm dividing this by the original. So 273 minus 318 is negative 45. So this is negative 45 over 318. And this ends up becoming negative, and I type this into my calculator, 0.14 150 and then dot dot dot. I guess it's 0.94. Let's go dot 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 from there. So to figure out the percent of change, remember this is the decimal. I'm going to use the jumping the decimal trick. Though remember you can multiply by 100. I'm going to go 1, 2. So my decimal now is going to be there. Keeping in mind that I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, which means that this is now, so it's going to be negative 14.15094 dot dot dot. Okay, and if I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, this is the tenths place, which means that this number is the one that tells me if I should round up or keep it the same. Since it's a 5 and 5 or higher means I should round up, I'm going to take this number and I'm going to round up. So my final percent of change is negative 14.2%. Now, one of the things that I like about this formula, because one thing you may notice is that this answer was negative, whereas this answer was positive. And so the idea on this problem is that using this formula, new minus original over original, if this number on top, the numerator, is negative, it means that you went down. So whatever it is, Mitch now has fewer stamps than he had before, whereas in this particular problem, the temperature went up. It was 60 degrees, now it's 84. The temperature went up, it went up by 40%. So a lot of times they ask you to identify, is the rate of change positive or negative, was it an increase or a decrease, and this formula makes it very easy to notice that. If it's positive, it was an increase. If it was negative, it was a decrease. All right, let's take a look at some other types of problems that you might see. For example, an iPhone costs $300 and is on sale for 20% off. Find the sales price. So in order to do this, I need to find first the percent that I'm taking off of 300. So this is 300 is the original price times 20%. So 20% of 300 is $60. Now, a lot of people then circle that and say that's their answer, but that's not your answer. That's 20% of 300. So that's how much I am saving. That's how much the sale is. So to find the actual cost of the iPhone, it is $300 minus the $60 that I save for the sale. So the actual cost of the iPhone now on sale is $240. Now, one thing I can't stress enough with these problems is using some kind of common sense, some mathematical common sense, I should call it. So if the phone costs $300 and it's on sale for 20% off, sometimes people accidentally add these two. So they'll take this 300 plus 60, you'll get 360. Okay, well think about what kind of sale that would be. If it originally cost 300, now it's on sale, so I get to pay 360 for it. So you should see at that point, okay, this answer doesn't make sense. This can't be right. Okay, and then obviously, hopefully you would find that your mistake was the subtraction part. So I found 20% of 300. At 60, I subtracted it from the 300 to find what the phone costs now. Okay, and then the final problem is a markup problem. So a lot of times what stores do is they buy something at one price and then they sell it for a different price. Obviously, they need to make profit. They have to pay for the building, pay for the lights, right? So a store pays $42 for a pair of rollerblades, and the markup is 25%. What is the selling price? So in other words, they're going to pay $42, they're going to mark it up 25%, and they're going to sell it to you at this new price. So it originally cost $42. I need to find out what is 25% of $42. And 25% of $42 is $10.50. Right, so this becomes 10.5. Remember, we're talking about money, so I'm going to end up adding a 0 to that when I solve it. So I then need to take this, the 10.50, I'm going to add it to the original price. So originally the rollerblades cost $42. They are now selling them. They're making a profit of $10.50 on them. So the total price at this point is $52.50. That is the price after the markup. So they're selling the rollerblades for $52.50, and they are making a 25% profit. All right, so that's all we got for you on this. Please make sure you keep this formula in mind as we're doing the problem, new minus original over original. Like I say, it's not the only formula, but it is one of the ones that we typically teach here. Thank you very much for watching the video. Don't forget to do the problems at the bottom of the page. I'll see you in class.